So we expected the correction to happen, and it did happen finally, and quite a severe one. In fact, yesterday I was thinking that it would be more reasonable to have this growth up to higher than previous high, maybe like 4,500, something like that, at least higher than $4,200, in order to let more people believe that we're finally in a rising trend, so they will go in and then the price could be dumped and more liquidity will be collected. But it didn't happen, and well, this would actually, it would look even better than if it would happen from higher levels, because from those levels the drop might be much deeper, and at that time this looks like first reasonable correction after the long and growth without the correction. And also this is much sharper than all the previous parts of the growth, and it means that first we collected the stop orders of a lot of the people who went long here, and they put their stop orders just below this area, so it's very reasonable that we went below that. Also, some people who fixed some of their profits at this area, they now can go long, so the price can have more buyers at this area. And just in general, this drop, since it's much sharper, looks like a sort of manipulative move, but that's fine. It's still required to cool off. You can look, by the way, at the daily RSI, which was extremely high right at this point, and it was very similar to the RSI level in July when we were also very overbought. Now we sort of cooled off this indicator and can go up from that point. Also, the price bounced off this support line, which had 1-2 points. Now we have the third point here and becomes really like reliable trend line. And in addition to that, the price bounced not only from this line but also from moving average, 100 days moving average, and this is quite of a strong evidence of this area is sort of support area. And actually this daily chart, the daily candle, you can see it goes up and up. So saying all that, I would think that the growth from that area is much more likely than the growth from this area, although yesterday I was thinking that it probably would be like reasonable to push it even higher, but still, as we were looking at this rising trend from this point, we would expecting that the higher it will go, the lower chance for the further growth is, and the correction is more likely to happen. So at this point the correction happened, and here I would say is more likely to go upwards than from this point. So I would probably consider even buying at in this area with maybe some stops, or even without a stop, but some averaging below $3,500, or at least at $3,500. When this area, if the price will go even lower, then this area will be pinned through to the zone where a lot of the stop orders are collected. So in this area, then we could see the change of this fall to the growth again, and it would be much more reliable. But here I would consider to have a very tight stop, because if the price will go below, especially below this support line, then we may see quite of a nasty sell-off, maybe even below the previous low or something like that. But this is unlikely scenario in my opinion. I would say that even now the chances that we're going higher more than we go low. So let's see how it will play out. Also, the altcoins, some of them dropped a lot, of course, during this drop, but they didn't show a continuation of the fall, so pretty much holding still. Some of them even grow a little bit on this day, so probably I would say it's more positive than negative. Also, I must show you that this sort of a pattern here, well, maybe 4 hours chart will be more representative. So previous increase in price from the low of 3,200, well, 3,150, somewhere around here, it went through three stages, 1, 2, 3, and then drop, and then actually go high, low, and then sort of sideways, and then finally the trend changed. Also, those 1, 2, 3 strong change in the price were very similar to what we see here, like the collection of the stops. And again, 1, 2, 3 rises, 1, 2, 3 rises and drop and drop. So I would say we can really go higher right now following the same scenario, and then finally have even stronger correction, then high, then low, and then high again. So we can actually basically repeat the whole pattern of this one once again over here, and this is really likely to happen. But moreover, I would say that this was quite sharp, this was even sharper. I would think that it's reasonable to go sideways for a while to let the market cool off, and eventually finally we may see some strong move. But again, I would expect that the price will make such a sharp moves after the sideways price action in order to collect more stops, when the people will become more less patient. And finally, I would like to show you some charts from Murad Mahmudov. You remember we referred to him previously, and he is comparing the chart from 2014 to 2019, this bear market. He doesn't believe that the bottom of Bitcoin in 2019 was at $3,200. So he said we need to go lower, like $2,000 or something like that. And here he shows pretty much similar behavior of the price into areas. This 2014 is like $3,300, so it's before the major drop. And he said that we basically have very similar behavior. Maybe this is a bit faster, so the party ended sooner this time, and he'd expect again this will continue and then drop more. It's not clear actually if you would consider changing the time scale, for example, as I did here in reply to his tweet. Here it's very similar to what we saw in 2015, just faster. And basically you may find many analogies in history. It's not necessarily that they are correct, especially in crypto. So anyway, considering this scenario, we actually will go upwards, will not go lower than that point. So we'll see how this will play out. In fact, this is really speculative. Okay, that is it for today, guys. Hope it was useful. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow in the next update. Safe trading.